Marquita from Evergreen Adventures, and I'm here today with our 2020 Keystone Passport 2600 BH rig, and I'm going to give you a walkthrough of some of the basic features and some of the other cool features that you might need while you're camping. So let's just start here in the front. We've already disconnected our tow vehicle. We have our lock on it. Make sure you always have your rig secured when you're at a campground. One of the first things you want to do after you've installed your initial hookups is turn on your propane. Your propane is going to be responsible for heating up your water. It is also responsible for your cooking. So on the Keystone Passport, there are two propane tanks. They work on a regulator, and so you will just reach in here and it's really easy. You twist to open, and then this is how you would close it once you're leaving. But we've opened it, and then you will just close this back down. You slide that forward and twist it down. That just keeps the rain and other elements off of it. In case you need to know, your battery is back here. You shouldn't need it while you're out camping, but in case there's any kind of problems, your battery is located right here in the back. Also, just going over basic things, in the front, this rig is equipped with an electric tongue jack. It also has a light here for if you're hooking up at night, and it has really handy retract and extend labels, which make it easier to know which direction that you're going. All right, now I can't speak for everyone else's rigs, but we have bubble levels included on the outside of our rigs. This makes it easier to know if your rigs are level. And so on this side, this is your level for front to back, and on the front is your level for side to side. It's really important that you have your rig leveled, not only for comfort, but also to make sure that your refrigerator works, because it doesn't work like a fridge in your home. This first area is the basement. It is a complete pass-through. And in our rigs, we keep our camping chairs here. Also, the mat goes here. And then on the other side are some of the other kind of mechanical things that you might need. I love this feature that it has a magnet, it locks, but be mindful that if you have your key in here, that it will not stay up and it will fall down and hit you in the head. Ask me how I know. So make sure you don't have your key in. It's the twist locks, good to go. Right next door to the basement are your water connections. So here, if you're boondocking, this is for personal owners, you have your fresh water connection. This is where you fill up your fresh water tank. And here next to it, you have your city water connection. Make sure that you're always using drinking water safe hoses, and make sure that your connections are always tight. We always have a regulator attached to ours and also a water filter. Here, this Keystone Passport has a slide out room. The slide out room, I will insert the space so that way you know how much space you need. It's about an arm's length, but here is the actual measurement for it. And so make sure that when you're parking your rig, that you're in the middle of your site and that you don't have any obstruction, so that way when you let your slide out, it's not crashing into anything. All right, let's make our way down the slide area. Here, the Keystone Passport has a really cool feature. When you have kids that are muddy and other things, it has an outdoor shower. Actually got hot and cold water hookups, which is awesome. You just pull it out and then you can hose those kids off. So here is the black tank flush. This is when you're dumping your black tank. It's really important to also flush the tank out so you get any of that leftover gook or grime and toilet paper out of it. And we have a separate video about what is the best way to dump your tank and flush it all out. Right below here is your marker of where your gray tank and your black tank hookups are. This particular campground that we're at doesn't have those hookups, and so I'll show you in a separate video how you hook everything up here. But all of your levers are right here underneath the rig. Black is for black tank, gray is for gray tank. If you're going to be at your campsite for longer than 4 days or so, or if your family just refuses to take shorter showers, we leave the gray tank open so it can drain when we have that available. You always want to keep your black tank closed so that you're not getting any black tank fumes back into the house, because not only does it smell, it's not really healthy for your family. Here on the back of the rig is this really nifty thing. Speaking of the black tank, We just pull this off and we slide our black tank hose in there. That keeps that from having those gross sewer gases and liquids inside of the rig. All right, we're going to come around to the back. You might be wondering, where is the power cord when you first hook up? It's literally in the rig. So all you do is you just push it back in there when you leave and you pull it out. It's really easy and simple, and it's in a case here in the back of the rig. You just lift it up. There you go. Right next to the power cord is your satellite and cable TV hookups if your campground offers those. And around on this side, we have our outdoor kitchen. Also with the magnetic, keeps everything up there. In order to pull out your cooking surface for the outdoor kitchen, there's a latch. You lift it a little bit and pull out, and then it'll slide right out. And what you'll want to do in order to secure it and so that it doesn't move around is you just slide these latches in and stick it down. You want to do it on both sides. If not, it wiggles around a bunch, and that's just not safe with kids running around in the campsite. Okay, now we're nice and steady. We're ready to cook. So this cooktop provides you with a 2-gas burner. Also gives you a small prep sink. It's not going to do a whole bunch. It doesn't have a drain, so be mindful of that. But it is an option if you just need to rinse your hands off. It also does have a small fridge, so you can keep the brews out here, sodas, juice, so that way you're not having to go in and out of the house. On your outdoor kitchen, you also have lots of prep space. I love how much prep space you have it on this side and also on this side, which gives you a lot of space. When you're wanting to actually hook up your propane, the propane hose is right here underneath, and it uses a quick connect system. If you look here underneath the rig, the quick connect system is right there. You'll just pull out this yellow cap and you'll connect it in. Then you'll also want to turn on the gas. All right, coming on this side of the rig. So up here you have your 2 outdoor speakers. This rig is also equipped with, here are your outputs. So you have to think in the back is where your satellite and cable TV hookups were into, and this is where you can hook up your TV out here. You also have an electrical outlet here, and this is the other side of the basement pass-through. Now, let's get ready to go inside and see what are the features inside. One of my favorite features of the Keystone Passport is the MORide stable steps. As a parent, I love that these are on the ground. I love that they don't hover. And also, this is great for folks with mobility issues that may not be as stable. When you open the front door, it seems like it's not going to give, but it will. It is on a door hinge that it stops exactly where you put it. This is great for those windy days so the door doesn't fly back in, but also remember that you're going to have to pull it back in and give it a little bit of force. So let's go inside. As soon as we come in the front door, you have your panels here, your control panels. This is like Control Central. So here at the top, you have all of your indicators for your tanks. So on this particular rig, there's the battery, which is full. You have your fresh water tank, which is where you would fill up your water. Typically that's empty on rentals, but we have a little bit of fresh water in our tank right now. You have your black and your grays. You also here have your water heater feature. So this is on propane, this is on electric. So an important thing is that once you get your tow vehicle detached, if you want to take a shower anytime in the near future, you're going to want to turn that on because it's going to need time to warm up. If you're boondocking, which is, as a reminder, is not allowed when you're renting from Evergreen RV Adventures, but if this is your personal rig and you're boondocking and you have a you have water in your fresh tank, then this is the button that you would press. You never want to press this if you are hooked up to city water. It will cause a whole fiasco. It happened to us in our fifth wheel. This is for your awning to retract and extend. This is for the slide room for in, out. This is your porch light and your ceiling lights. Down here is a really cool blue light feature over in the dining room and main living room area. And then here in our Evergreen RV Adventures rental, we have our remote controls as well. Let's talk a little bit about the pantry area. We use this primarily for storage, but if this is your own personal rig, it's amazing. This is such a big pantry. It's deep. We store our cleaning products in here, and if you're renting with us, we provide you with a first aid kit. We also provide you with disinfectant and Lysol wipes, and then there's other cleaning items in this closet. So if you're traveling with kiddos or bigger kids, even adults, these have sizable bunks. So these are actually a full-size bunk minus this little corner piece. But we have installed, here at Evergreen RV Adventures, have installed a topper because these mattresses are really thin and we want everyone to have a nice sleeping experience, so it's nice and cushy. And so if you are watching this and you're a personal owner, an RV that has bunks, I would highly recommend purchasing a foam topper. Makes all the difference for an RV night's sleep. But these come fully made up when you rent with us, and you can fit 2 kiddos on here. Honestly, you could probably fit 2 adults as well. Just be mindful that the top bunk does have a 300-pound maximum load capacity, so maybe only 1 kiddo on top. You could put an adult and a kid in these configurations, all kind of configurations. The bottom bunk does not have the same load capacity. It's just a matter of you're sleeping on top of someone else. One of the cool things about each of the bunks is that they have their own window, but they also have their own touch light. Just click it on and click it off. They also are equipped with USB ports and regular plug-in electrical outlets. Bunks also have curtains, so often as a parent, I'm like, these open space rigs are not great because I want to watch TV or I want to hang out. Well, this rig has privacy curtains for both the top and the bottom bunk. This top one really kind of does it for both, but there is a bottom one available. Just remember to stow it before you travel. I love the storage in this rig. There is so much storage. This is the length of this bed. It's not the width of it, but it is a really decent storage size. We have just some extra materials in there right now, but it is a really good storage size. This is, I was talking to my mom and I was telling her, this would be the perfect size rig for a full-timing family. Let's go into the bathroom. Everyone always wants to know about the bathroom. So it's a sizable bathroom. I can't even touch both walls, and I have a pretty large wingspan. We have a standard shower. Be mindful that we're changing out this shower head, so if you rent with us, know that we're upgrading this to the super nice aquasonic water saving shower head. To use the shower, you'll just turn the water away. This doesn't come out. If you're wanting to give your kiddos a bath, you can press it down, but if you're taking a shower, you just kind of leave it there. It's not the best feature, but you turn the water away. And when you're ready for a shower, you simply lift up. Turn the water in to turn it off. If you've never used an RV toilet, be sure to check out our video that talks about how to use an RV flip flush toilet. It's important, especially if you ever need to go number 2 on a camping trip. Here, it's actually a decent sized sink. I'm always thinking about ripping everything out in the RV. If you've ever seen the tour of our personal fifth wheel, I'm always thinking about renovations, but this one doesn't make me hate it and want to rip things out. So it's got a medicine cabinet. It's a decent height. Your kiddos are not going to be able to see themselves in the mirror, but at least shorter adults can. It's a medicine cabinet where you can keep your things in. It's a pretty decent amount of space. Here in our rental, we have a spot for your toothbrush holder. It's got the standard sink here, and then there's some space for storage underneath. Not a whole lot of space because the majority of the hookups are inside of there. So this is your exhaust fan. So you'll want to use this when you're showering or if you're needing some circulation from someone used the restroom. So you'll need to open this all the way, and then for those who are vertically challenged, it can be a bit of a challenge because the switch is up here. Make sure if you notice that it's raining, this is not one of the ones that automatically stop, so make sure that you come in here and close it down. This is the dinette area. It is a U-shaped dinette, and it's a pretty decent size. I know that a lot of folks think, well, it's a large dinette so we can fit a whole bunch of people. I would say comfortably you can fit an adult on each end, maybe an adult in the middle, and 2 kiddos. I don't know that you could fit 4 or 5 adults around this, but you can try. The other cool thing about this dinette and the fact that it is so large is that it also converts down into a bed. So let's show you how to do that. So here you have the dining area surface. So what you're going to want to do is you're just going to lift it straight up. You're just going to set this off to the side. Don't put it too far away because you will need it. You're going to take these poles. You can actually just set them right here for easy safekeeping. Now here comes the cool part. Start pulling off the different cushions. We like to just set ours off to the side. Now, you're going to take your dining table, and here, just underneath the cushions, is a little lip. This is where the dinette and dining room table sits. So you're just going to want to lift this up a little bit and slide it into place. And the awesome part about this is that it moves a little bit, but it's not coming forward, it's not going backwards, it's not going side to side. It's in there, good and tight. And the way that we like to set it up is the larger rectangular cushion on the outside in line with the other ones. The smaller rectangulars right here in the middle. And ta-da, you have a bed. Based on our calculations, I believe that this will fit full-size sheets. And when you rent from us, we have an egg crate that goes over the top to help make this nice and comfortable and feel more like a bed. Swinging around here to our entertainment area, you have a standard RV TV. You have the Jensen system that has your different zones for your speakers outdoors and indoors. It also is equipped with a CD player, AM, FM, Bluetooth, and USB and aux cords. Up top here, we have a decent amount of storage. It is deceptive where it looks like it goes really deep, but it doesn't. It's a pretty shallow cabinet, but at least it goes really high. And inside of the cabinet has a push light, so if you have anything up there, you can see it a little bit easier. Down here at the bottom, for those of you who rent with Evergreen RV Adventures, we do provide games. The games will vary based on the season and availability, but we do have games and they live in this cabinet. I gotta say, this kitchen, I am jealous of this kitchen, and I live in a fifth wheel. This kitchen is so spacious and really well laid out. It has so much storage. And again, if you're not renting from us and you're thinking about buying this rig, it's the perfect rig for full-timing families. Let's start up here up top. With every rental, we include plates, bowls, cups, also a couple of basic cooking items that you may need while you're out on the road. Here is another storage area that connects over to the other side. Again, really spacious. A standard high point microwave. We include the microwave cover. We would love it if you use it. Here you have your hood, range cover. It does have a fan, exhaust fan, and light. Down here you have a Furrion stove top and oven. If you're wanting to use this for additional prep space, you can leave the glass top down. Just be really careful because it is glass. But if you're wanting to cook and use the burners, you just flip it back and it sits up like that, and it actually acts as a backsplash. If you're wanting to turn on a burner, you will turn the light on and then you'll just flick it. You don't need a striker for these. That's one of my favorite parts. Just turn on the striker. Same thing with the oven. There we go. It's a decent size oven. You should know, for those of you who are familiar with gas stoves and it stresses you out that this isn't turned, this is just the striker. Literally, you can just turn it over and over again, and all it does is strike these. If you look closely, you can see it spark. That's just giving you that spark so you don't need a lighter or anything to start the gas. It just does that ignition process for you. Here you have the cooktop. On top of this really nice farmhouse sink is a cover. You can use it for a prep area, but I wouldn't recommend it. It bows really easily. It's a little bit of an inconvenience and a nuisance. But look at this really deep, really nice stainless steel farmhouse sink. And this is one of my favorite features. It's interesting the things that become your favorite when you get older, but this, love this. Each of our rentals is equipped also with a Keurig, and so that's there. Typically we have coffee pods in it, and we provide you with basic creamer. Each of our rigs is supplied with the things that you need to also eat the food that you cook with. So in this rig, because we have more space, we have more utensils. So we have all of your basic cooking utensils and supplies, and then also some measuring cups and whisks and other things. Just know that these may vary as time goes on. And underneath here, you also have storage as well. It is kind of a weird storage space. It's primarily, if you were full-timing, I would use this for cleaning products or something else, and maybe a trash can here, because it's cut off because of the things outside. So it is decent tall storage, just not back. And then underneath you have a decent amount of storage as well underneath the stove. Coming around here to the Dometic refrigerator. It can run on auto, which is on electric or gas. And it's really easy. You just press in for on. That is off. And then if you want it on auto, you press it in. If you want it on LP gas, you just have it up. In order to work a refrigerator, if you've never worked a Dometic refrigerator, you push in and then pull out. So you can use it like that with your thumb. It's a decent amount of space in this freezer. And then the same thing with the fridge. Also, a really important note is that when you close it, make sure you hear the click. That way you'll know it's closed. It's nothing worse than driving down the road and realizing that everything in your refrigerator is now on your floor. Same deal with the fridge. Really decent sized refrigerator. Can hold all of the things that you need. At least a week's worth of food. Lots of drawer space and door space. Again, listen for the click when you close it. Here on the back side of the dining room table, you will find more outlets. You've got 2 sets of USB outlets and regular plug-in outlets. Against this wall is the Dometic air conditioner. We don't have it on right now because it's really loud and it makes recording a pain. So you just press the power/mode button until you get to the feature that you want to use. So it's hot. As you can see, we're sweating. And so you'll want to turn on the air conditioner, and so you'll just once to turn it on. And then again, that's the fan. That is the AC. You'll know that that's it. And then you adjust it up or down based on your temperature. And then give it a few seconds and you'll hear it click on. There it is. Up here, there are vent covers that you can adjust how much is coming out. And that is full blast. Oh, so nice. If you're here in the winter, it's also important to know that we do have a furnace, and you would just look for the furnace feature and adjust it to your comfort. Remembering that these are RVs, it is going to take a little bit longer for it to warm up, and you're not going to be warm and toasty like in your house, or you're going to run out of LP gas real fast. So put it at a comfortable temperature, and then you may just need to bundle up and put on a sweatshirt or have some more blankets on the bed. Now let's go into the bedroom, but before we go into the room, let me show you what is one of my favorite features as a parent. It has a door. I love this feature so much. It is not a soundproof door, so for parents who want a little bit of alone time, just know that it is not soundproof. It's super thin, but at least you can have privacy and close the door. There is a latch here. It's really important that this is stowed when you are traveling. So let's come on into this bedroom. The bedroom is surprisingly spacious, even in this smaller rig. It has a lot of storage. It has a queen-size bed. We have installed shelving. Really nice, spacious shelving. On each side of the bed, you have little side tables, so you can put your water and your books, and there's also USB ports and electrical ports on each side, so no more fighting over who gets to charge their device at night. The lights in here are a little different for those of us who are vertically challenged. So you have to actually push on and push off, but there are 1, 2, and 3 lights in this rig, so nice and bright. And then over here is another set of storage. Really decent amount of storage in here. We haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure you can fit those standard bins that go in the cube storage and can keep things nice and organized. If this is your personal rig, also know that there are satellite and cable TV hookups here and a spot where you can mount a TV. We just haven't done that yet because we found that our renters do not necessarily want to watch TV, so we haven't invested in that yet, but maybe down the road. All right, it's time to talk about safety. Here in the bedroom is the emergency exit window. It works like this. You lift it up, you push, and if it was an emergency, you can push it all the way out to be able to get out of the window. This screen, you would pull this tab, pull it out. It also serves as a regular window, so don't feel like you can't open this window for ventilation. Right above that is the smoke detector. Be sure to check it before you have a trip or if you've just pulled it out of storage. So in the bottom bunk, there is an emergency window. It is a little bit difficult to get to, so it would be easier just to go straight out of the front door here. But if you need to in an emergency, it is back behind here. Last but certainly not least, here right next to the front door is the fire extinguisher. There's also one in the kitchen if you rent from us, and this will be your emergency exit door if there's an emergency. Thanks so much for watching the tour of our Keystone Passport 2600 BH. If you have any other questions or you're interested in booking, don't hesitate to find us on the web at evergreenrvadventures.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Evergreen RV Adventures. See you later, y'all.